It's time for the Drugless Doctor. Call a friend or family member now and let them benefit from today's exciting and life-changing program. If you want to lead a healthier life, the time is now.
Hello, this is Dr. Bob, Dr. Anthony, and Debbie DeMaria with another segment of the Drugless Doctor. Thank you for joining us today. I know what we're going to be speaking about causes 80% of the people to go to the hospital. That's right, 80% of the individuals they say statistically to go to the hospital is because of stress. And when new practice members come into our office, we always look in their eyes. And when we look in their eyes, like I'm looking at you right now, I look at the size of your pupil. The pupil is that dark center right there where a light gets to go to the back of your eyes. And if your pupil is enlarged, I know, and Dr. Anthony and Dr. Kaysen know, that you may have a body signal of adrenal fatigue. The adrenal glands are a pair of glands on top of your kidneys that are compromised with stress. So we're going to talk about a very common challenge today, and we're going to have answers for each and every one of you.
So it's really important when we talk about the physiology of stress, is it really affects our body. Our bodies are super intelligent. They are meant to survive. So our bodies are meant to handle stress. Stress becomes an issue when it becomes something that's chronic. So we're going to introduce two concepts here today. One's called fight or flight and the other's called rest or digest. So fight or flight and rest and digest have to do with different parts of our nervous system. Unfortunately, today, most people are in a lengthened period of time. They're in that fight or flight mode. So if you've ever seen somebody and their ears their shoulders are halfway to their ears, you know that they're always in that fight or flight. And what I mean by that is that's an inborn response that's built into our body that helps us to survive. So all of you that are sitting on the couch right now, if a tiger was to come in and into the room that you're sitting watching this program, you would jump and you would run away. So you're going to either fight that tiger or you're going to run away, and that's going to cause different reactions to take place in your body. Though that is what would be considered a stressor. But a lot of times in the life that we live now, we don't have tigers chasing around. We have family members, we have bosses, we have poor self-talk and poor self-image, and that's really the tiger that's constantly chasing you around, that's altering your body chemistry. So like I mentioned earlier, rest and digest is the other part of our nervous system that helps our body create new cells. And when you're in that heightened state of fight or flight all the time, you're not able to reproduce in your body like you're supposed to be. So one of the great things about chiropractic is when you get an adjustment, it helps to kick in the rest and digest part of your nervous system and helps take you out of that fight or flight mode so that your body can do the healing that it's supposed to be doing on the inside. So today we've come up with a lot of different strategies for each and every single one of you at home, anybody that's in our office or watching online, so that you can do these things on a daily basis, and they're going to really help make a difference with you as far as your stress levels. So the first thing that I want you to make sure that you're doing is taking time out for yourself. This is really, really important because most people that I interact with, they'll say, well, I do something from 6 in the morning until 11:30 at night, and I don't have any other time in there. I am busy, busy, busy. Well, one of the things that's really important is you cannot sustain that for forever. Even a biblical principle, when God created the world, after the day 6, he rested for one day. And that's really important. There has to be a period of time set aside for yourself to do rest so that your body can regenerate like it's supposed to. So whether that's one day out of a week or 1 to 2 hours every day, and focusing on things like your own personal health and some other strategies that you can be doing in that personal time. But I'd really encourage you, if you're under a lot of chronic stress, that you want to take time out for yourself to help manage that stress correctly so that we can get out of fight or flight mode into rest and digest.
Oh, that sounds really interesting. One of the things I am going to comment on with you, Dr. A, is that it's very important for your chiropractic adjustments. To me, That is the biggest stress reliever that there is. And so I make sure I am on a once a week routine, and my stress level, everything else seems to fall in place as long as I'm taking care of my spine. I know we're going to talk more about that later. The next thing is something else that Dr. Anthony mentioned, and that is our self-talk. Our thoughts oftentimes direct our life. Have you ever thought about how you're breathing? Most of us don't even give that any kind of thought process. What we do is we forget to breathe when we're under a stressful situation. We're actually sometimes even holding our breath. What we need is to make sure we breathe in and exhale. And breathe in and exhale. I notice for myself when I'm even doing exercises, breathing causes you to have a better exercise routine. So if it causes you to have a better exercise routine, how much more would it also help you in your daily walk, the energy you have, and in your stress level? Learn to breathe properly.
Can I interject something there? It's really important when you're talking about breathing properly, how that really affects our physiology on the inside. So when taking those deep breaths, we're getting more oxygen that's readily available to our brain. So remember that fight or flight response, what ends up happening is there's a lot of different reactions that are taking place in our body. And let's say someone like your mother-in-law walks in the room and you're really upset with her and you have not been breathing properly, you're not going to end up making wise decisions in the communication that you have with her, and it'll further have consequences with your stress level just because of not breathing. So a lot of times, simply put, if there's a stressful situation, by taking some deep breaths help to kick in that rest and digest part of your nervous system, and it really makes an overall difference in your stress levels. It's also really important for any students that are out there. Taking deep breaths before any type of examination or assessment is also going to help you think clearer because of the oxygen that's readily available in your body. So stress has a lot of detrimental effects to our body, from our own health and well-being to the people that are around us. So if we're not doing things to manage our stress, it can really make an overall impact in your health that is going to be negative. So by doing some of these simple solutions that we're talking about, it's really going to help you out.
I can tell you it's really important to breathe, and I know that Debbie and I, when we wake up in the morning, like Dr. Anthony was talking about, we take about an hour before we really start our day. We do our own word time with each other, a devotional time. We pray together. Then as we transition from that, we go to exercise time. So we have created in our schedule time for personal thinking, relaxing, letting our brain process what's going to be going on for the day. We're going to take a short break. We'll be right back and we're going to continue on giving you tips on being stress-free. Hello, this is Dr. Bob DeMaria, the Drugless Doctor. I would like to invite you to join me and our team at our practice in either Westlake or Elyria, Ohio. We are drugless doctors. Our goal is to help inform you to make wise decisions about your own health and your family's health. We will sit down with you and we will actually talk and listen to you and listen to your concerns. We have very advanced technology in our practice. We have digital video fluoroscopy, we have thermography, we have biocommunication testing. Our goal is to learn about what's going on inside of you to help you create a strategy of wellness. Wellness is not something that's really evasive. It's there. We're here to make a difference in your life. Call the number on the screen today. I promise you, you'll be glad you did. Hello, this is Dr. Bob and Dr. Anthony DeMaria and Debbie DeMaria with another segment of The Drugless Doctor. And before the break, I was just talking about relaxation, meditating time, word time. I want you to know that Debbie and I, on a regular basis, get up at 4:45 real time. That's 4:45 in the morning. You might say, I can't do that. Well, many years ago, I used to get up at 7 o'clock in the morning, and I backed it up every 15 minutes. And back in the late 1980s, I came back from a men's retreat, and the pastor at that time in my life suggested that you spend more personal time with your mate. So if you're married right now, and you and your husband do not pray together or do not have any personal time together in the morning, if you really want to strengthen your marriage and just help improve the direction of where your family is going, I would encourage you to spend some time with your mate in the morning or sometime during the day. We happen to get up at the same time, and just give your body an opportunity to rest, think, read your word, let the Lord speak to you, let the Holy Spirit speak to you. It'll make a huge difference not only in your personal life, but in your married life and the generational blessings that you're here to continue on. Dr. Anthony.
So when it comes to stress, more than you would ever know, what we eat really affects our body. If you remember, the Greek philosopher Hippocrates said, let food be your medicine and medicine be your food. That is really, really important when it comes to healthy eating. Isn't that right?
It really is. And you know what? I feel eating is sometimes on the top of the list of how we handle stress. The reason is if you are sitting there watching TV, which most people who are stressed will sit themselves in front of a television set so they can decompress, and they're watching all the snack foods and all the fast foods and all the things they can make in the microwave, and they're getting hungrier and hungrier as they watch it, and that's why they call things comfort food. Well, comfort food really can add to our stress instead of taking it away. Yes, sitting with ice cream, a big bowl of popcorn with a lot of salt and buttery sugar, and because the kettle corn now has sugar on it, and then salt, you are just adding not only calories, but you're adding stress to your system. And to not have the ice cream and to not have the cookies or the candy or the salty snacks would be more beneficial for you. Even though you might feel it causes comfort, within a period of time, you either will have a headache, you will not be able to fall asleep, and you're not going to be able to handle the stress. What I would suggest, now, if any of you have been listening to us for a long time, you know that you are what you eat. So I would suggest first getting off that number one thing we talk about, sugar. Sugar adds too much stress to your body system. We're not able to make the correct choices, we're not able to make the correct decisions, and we're certainly not getting any good ideas coming into our mind if we have too much sugar in our body. I know that both of the doctors probably want to comment on that, but I will also go to dairy. Dairy, it takes away our good lymph. It clogs up our lymphatic system. I believe when you have good lymph, you're also able to make wise decisions because it is the protective covering of your body. And then take away sometimes those wheat products, the cookies, the cinnamon rolls, all the donuts, all those things have wheat in it. And you know, you could have a gluten sensitivity, or it could be causing stomach problems, fogginess, you are not able to focus, and that's just going to add to stress in your life. Start today with some good eating habits.
You know, when I started this segment, we talked about meditation and just kind of relaxing. So many people are on the rat race of life, and they're just going, and it never seems to end. So what Debbie was doing and explained to you about with these cravings that we have, stress causes your body to become into an acid state. And when you have an acid state, your body needs minerals. So Dr. Anthony was talking about the breathing, and so is Debbie. So your body is breathing off carbon dioxide and other toxins. So your body uses breathing as a way to help neutralize and normalize the pH. We really promote in our practice Celtic sea salt because, see, if you're craving salt, as Debbie talked about, and salty foods. That's a body signal of the large pupils and even wearing sunglasses. And I want you to think of salt, and this is Celtic sea salt. It's an unrefined salt. It's a mineral, acts as the spark plugs in your body. So if you don't have enough energy, bright light bothers your eyes, you get dizzy from a sit to a stand position, and you're craving salty food on a regular basis, chances are you are already into a very heavy-duty stress level. And it sometimes can take years for your body to respond to health and wellness.
So a really great stress relieving tip for each and every single one of you that are sitting at home right now is exercise. So if I asked you a question, how many of you would like to have more self-confidence, better sleep, and lots of energy and a regular bowel movement? I think everybody just fell over because they said, you know what, that is me. And if I said, how about just exercising between 10 to 20 minutes every single day? And I don't want you to put your head down. I want you to say, you know what, I think that I can do that. One of the things that we really like to talk about on our programs and in our office is making sure that we're doing exercise on a regular basis. And do something that is going to be fun for yourself when it comes to exercise. It always amuses me when I'm out different places and I see people doing types of exercise that they don't enjoy, whether it's running or anything else. There are so many different fun activities that you can do that either involve some sort of walking or in a motion that's going to raise your heart rate and contribute to stress reduction when it comes to exercise. So if you want to experience stress relief, better sleep, self-confidence, and increased energy right off the bat, start an exercise program today. And you know what? Why don't you either get your spouse or a friend to do it with you so that you can make sure that you're having somebody to help keep you accountable, and don't have any excuses to say, no, that I'm too busy, because it's going to have an overall impact on your health that is very positive.
You know, Dr. Anthony, as long as you're doing the exercise, I think if you could develop that thought process, that positive thought process during that time. I love exercising. I love the way it makes me feel. I'm having a wonderful day. This is making me feel happy. And the buddy system that you suggested just brings the two of you up. So you're having more of a positive day. If you deal with stress and you are exercising or you're having that buddy system doing whatever it might be, learn to not talk about it. Oftentimes, we make it so much bigger than it is. And then we try to do the top this. Well, this is my stress, but I can take you up higher because this is what I'm going through. How about let's be an encourager to each other and talk about, you know, what we can do to get out of this situation. Having a buddy is a great idea.
You know, it's kind of interesting that Debbie brings that up, because ever since we were first married, we did some type of exercise together, and jogging, riding our bikes. So create a plan, sit down with your mate, talk about that with your friends and your family members. I know it'll make a huge difference. We're going to take a short break, and we'll be right back. Hello, this is Dr. Bob DeMaria, the Drugless Doctor. I would like to invite you to join me and our team at our practice in either Westlake or Elyria, Ohio. We are drugless doctors. Our goal is to help inform you to make wise decisions about your own health and your family's health. We will sit down with you and we will actually talk and listen to you and listen to your concerns. We have very advanced technology in our practice. We have digital video fluoroscopy, we have thermography, we have biocommunication testing. Our goal is to learn about what's going on inside of you to help you create a strategy of wellness. Wellness is not something that's really evasive. It's there. We're here to make a difference in your life. Call the number on the screen today. I promise you, you'll be glad you did. Hello, this is Dr. Bob, Dr. Anthony, and Debbie DeMaria with a continuation of The Drugless Doctor. I'm sure right now that you're probably thinking, you know, they're talking about me. I am stressed. I love to eat this. I love to do this. I have not exercised in years. My ears are up to my shoulders. I have never even thought about regular adjustments. What do those have to do with being stress-free anyway? Dr. Anthony.
You know what? That's a great question. I know that earlier Debbie was mentioning how important it was for her regular chiropractic care to have good stress reduction. So earlier, remember when I was talking about fight or flight or rest and digest? The part of your nervous system that involve rest and digest starts right up here and right down here. So our cervical spine or our neck, or this area below our low back called our sacrum. So those two areas are part of that rest and digest nervous system called the parasympathetic nervous system. So when we're working with people in the office, we have very specific analysis that we're doing with motion video and digital x-ray to see how things are moving either towards normal or away from normal. And by working on addressing those areas of misalignment, or what we call in chiropractic subluxation, and bringing them back to their normal state, have correct messages between the brain and the rest of your body, kicks in that rest and digest part of your nervous system, and you have one of those, oh man, I am so glad that I get my regular adjustments because I'm able to take on the world around me.
You know, Dr. Anthony, this is how tight people are with stress. And that chiropractic adjustment makes all the difference in the world. It will paralyze you if you don't do something about it. And we have a few tips for you for some supplements that you could possibly take too.
So it's really significant. I had mentioned this on the other segment, is how important salt is. Now this is a mineral, so I don't want you to think about this as sodium. It raises your blood pressure. This is an unrefined mineral. We have several items that we use in our practice. This very first one is kava kava. Kava kava is a natural herb that'll assist your body in just calming every aspect of your body down. It's not a narcotic, it's not a drug, but I just know from our practice members that we have that have anxiety and they just don't know what to do, the kava kava is just a natural way to cool everything down. We also use another herb from Gaia Herbs called adrenal support. We have so many practice members that come in that have relentless anxiety. And when they come into the office, we look in their eyes and their pupils are large, bright light bothers their eyes, they get dizzy from a sit to a stand position. We generally recommend 3 different items. We will use adrenal support, usually about 2 per day. These herbs will help support the restoration and the redevelopment of your adrenal glands. These are probably the 2 most significant products that we use in our practice for chronic adrenal gland fatigue. Do you know that you could have chronic allergies because your adrenal glands are not functioning optimally? This happens to be a product called Cytozyme AD, Alpha Delta. This is a neonatal glandular adrenal tissue. I generally could recommend up to 9 a day of these with 1 bottle. Then transition up to 6 a day for the second bottle, and then 3 a day for the third bottle. You'll do this over time, but this is going to help assist your body in restoration. Then we transition to a product called ADB5, Alpha Delta Bravo 5. The B5 is pantothenic acid. Oftentimes, taken 2 in the morning and 2 at night will help assist your body in restoration. You have to understand this. If you're on this rat race of life and you can't see yourself getting off, and it's kind of like being caught in this rat trap, you have to step back and look, what